Welcome. We are back. It's been a rough one. It's been a rough fucking week for me. It's okay. Because it's the last one. It's the last one we gotta fucking do. Anyways, I'm your host. It's Gaff. I'm here to bring you tips, tricks, news, all that shit. Picks, parlays, bets, news, fucking updates. Whatever the fuck you need in the MMA boxing world, I got you. I'm here to present that to you on Sunday. I'm here for you. I'm here. I'm a sacrificial lamb. Again, I'm your host. Gav, if you've seen me before, you probably see me here. Main card minute. What the fuck is up with my internet? Main card minute. Baby. Seriously, what the fuck is up with the internet? It's not piss me off. But anyways, scan the QR code below. Scan the QR code on the left. We'll be doing a card watch along for Usyk Fury coming up this weekend. Come check us out there. Also check us out. We just did a live watch along for Covington versus Buckley last night, and it was pretty good. So scan the QR code below, and then you can check us out. If you scan the QR code on the right, you get this channel right here. You subscribe, you become a fan, you get more news daily throughout the week, all that. So yeah, you should do that. Again, we put the parlays out on one more round fights. You probably don't want to follow though because I suck at it and we keep losing. So it's whatever. But yeah. We really need to start putting some wins together. We need it. We need it. Guys are failing us. Guys are failing us in the worst moments of their lives, worst moments of our lives. So yeah. But if you want to tail the bets that I keep losing, you want to laugh, have some fun with it, check out One More Round Fights. Yeah. And if you do happen to win, which I know you haven't this week, on some bets that I gave you, yeah. One More Round Fights at gmail.com. Send them in. I want to see if you guys won. I want to see if you hit. Shout out to our loan sponsor, W.GG. Use promo code One More Round for 10% off products. Use promo code One More Round for 10% off the products. And without further ado, let's get started. Joaquin Buckley, TKOs, Colby Covington, Dr. Stoppage. This is round 3, 4 minutes and 42 seconds left. 18 seconds left in the round. And Dan Marigliata decides, this is the time I'm going to step in. I won't let the round finish. 18 seconds is too much for me. So I'm going to have the doctor look now. Stops the fight. Covington was looking decent. He was coming back around 3. He had a chance to do something around 4 and 5 and steal the fight because round 3 is potentially going to be his. Potentially. There's a case that he could have had round 2. But Marigliata steps in. Dr. Stoppage. Joaquin Buckley gets a big TKO win. Looks great on his resume now. I must say, Joaquin Buckley has been putting in some work this past year, my boy. Now let's take a look at the people he's put down and out in just this year. Just this year. Colby Covington, TKO. Stephen Thompson, Wonderboy, TKO. Nursultan Ruziboev, decision. Tried to finish that guy, he couldn't. But it was unanimous. Vicente Luque, TKO. He just got a big submission win over Themba Gorimbo. So 3 finishes this year in 4 fights. 4 finishes in his last 6. Colby Covington looking like he's getting old, but Joaquin Buckley looking like he's ready to challenge for the top tier of the division. Him and Ian Gary is an even better fight now. Gary off the loss, Buckley off the win. Send him in there. Now, as for Colby Covington, that didn't look great, man. I mean, you're always going to make a case, as he always does, that, I was coming back in that fight. The refs took that fight from me. The doctors took that fight from me, blah, blah, blah. He's always going to use that. That's Colby's, A1 tier. I'm going to use this to my advantage. Okay. But let's please notice that he's only lost to 3 people. Kamaru Usman, ranked at number 3. Leon Edwards, ranked at number 1. And Joaquin Buckley, ranked at number 9. So he's only lost the top 10 guys, and he's only lost the former champions if Joaquin Buckley somehow finds his way to a title. So Joaquin Buckley not only opened the door for the Ian Machado Gary fight because he's a number above him, even though he'll probably take Covington's spot at number 6 after this. He'll be just above Ian Machado Gary. And now he'll be in the position to tell Ian Machado Gary, why would I look down and fight you? You're below me. That's going to be a tough pill to swallow for Ian Machado Gary. So he's going to want that fight next. Jack Della Maddalena might be booked against Kamaru Usman in February. That might be happening. We already know Shavkat Rakhmonov has a date with Bilal Muhammad. Leon Edwards needs a dance partner. Will it be Jorge Masvidal coming back? Who knows? Will it be a Sean Brady? Will it be a Gilbert Burns? Who knows? But Ian Machado Gary, Joaquin Buckley seems like a perfect next fight. I'm not going to say what Buckley coins it as, but I think it's Buck. Yeah. So Colby, that cut's going to take a lot of time to heal. He needs to fight somebody that's not going to punch his face off next time. Depending on where Sean Brady's at, depending on where Wonder Boy's at, I like both those fights. Michael Page, I mean, he could definitely punch Covington's face off, but take down the fences a little. I think Colby could get the takedown there, make that fight interesting. So, plenty of options for Colby. I think there's only one real option for Ian Machado Gary. He's got to fight Buckley. We got to see that fight. There's so much buildup. The fight was booked. It got broken up. We got to see it next. We have to. I don't care. We got to see it next. So, yeah, another prospect fight coming up. Can't wait to see it. Colby Covington take some time off. Didn't look great, but started to come back late in the fight. Wasn't enough. Doctors stop it. Refs stop it. Everybody stops it. We had the Buckley TKO round 5. It ended up being 3. Tough loss. What can you do? All my parlays were killed all night. We'll go over that in just a few moments. But yeah, it was a tough night. It was a tough night for you, boy. Tough fucking night. Duran in the house. I was pretty housed last night. How many takedowns did Colby actually get? That is a great fucking question. Let's look that up right now. Actually, we could just go. If you just type in UFC, you could actually pops up right there. All right, click the fight. Here we go. Taking a little longer than expected. Ouch. He got one. Colby Covington got 1 takedown. Didn't hit his over. Didn't hit the 4. Didn't hit the 5. Didn't hit the 6. Damn sure didn't hit the 7. It's a tough beat. Tough beat. And one of the takedowns, when he did get Buckley down, he actually put him on bottom, but I think it was just like a scramble. It wasn't a takedown. So, yeah, tough. It technically should have been 2, but tough. Tough. Let's talk about elsewhere on that UFC card. Swanson, Kevin Luke, Killer Cub Swanson knocks out Billy Q Quarantillo. Wow. 41 years of age, putting people out like that. 1 minute and 36 seconds of round 3. Cub Swanson, you still got a lot left in that tank, my boy. You still got a lot left in that tank. Wow. He's not ranked. He might find himself ranked next to Edson Barbosa after this. He might find himself ranked after this. Granted, it was a knockout over Billy Q. Okay. Seems to happen a lot lately for some odd reason. I don't know if Gym Wars got to him, but well, he's been getting finished lately, not knocked out a lot. You know, that is his second knockout in 2 years. That's something to be looked at. He got knocked out with a big knee by Edson Barbosa. Somehow Edson Barbosa seems to, you know, these guys are never the same after they face him. I don't know what Edson Barbosa has. He's got adamantium in his bones or something, because that guy just when he hammers those nails are not useful anymore. You gotta throw those nails away. You gotta pull them out with the other side of the hammer and toss them after Edson Barbosa fucking hits him. Because, man, I mean, just think about the guys that Edson Barbosa has put out and how they've never been the same after. You know, Kevin Lee. Don't forget Kevin Lee. Big one. You know, Justin Gaethje. Not Justin Gaethje. What am I saying? Well, Kevin, he didn't knock out Kevin Lee, but that big wheel kick definitely changed Kevin Lee. Dan Hooker. He had a long stint after he got, you know, screwed over in that fight. Shane Burgos. He's in the PFL now. Not even getting wins over there. You know, Billy Q. Terry Edom. If you wanna, you know, take it back real quick. A lot of guys that faced this man and just, you know, never really came back from it. You could argue Beneil Dariush, even though he definitely did come back from it, just to, you know, get finished by Oliveira again. But yeah, why are we talking about Edson Barbosa? I don't know. But yeah, Billy Q takes a hellacious KO from Killer Cub Swanson. Cub Swanson hits him so hard that he statues him, falls him straight to his back, eyes closed, hits his head against the mat, bounces back so much that the blood comes out of his nose, lands on his chest. Yeah. If you haven't seen that Cub Swanson KO, it just might be the best Cub Swanson KO of his career. There's 3 that really match up in Cub Swanson's career. 3 KOs that I really like. When I look back at his record, I'm like, those were fucking nice, Cub. Those are fucking nice. Number 1, Darren Elkins, the spinning wheel kick. You know, we just seen that one, so it's fresh in our minds, very fresh in our fucking minds. Yeah, that one was nice. Obviously, we got to put this one in there, the Billy Q KO. That one was pretty nice too. But you know, what about the fucking Charles Oliveira win? Just it aged really well. It aged really fucking well. But what about that win? That's a really good KO win. So, Cub Swanson, somehow in the great old age of 41, I almost did a fighter spotlight on him, but I found it disrespectful because I do it for young fighters. I almost did. But this man was born in the early 80s in California. He's seen a lot of shit. He's got palm tree tattoos right at his crotch. To where it leads, who knows? But still putting away these young guns. Quarantillo put him away. Dawoodu turned him back. Daniel Pineda, Kron Gracie, Artem Lobov, Duho Choi, Cochran Diaz, Dustin Poirier, and Charles Oliveira early in their careers back in 2013 and 2012. This guy has been turning back youngins. I think that's his hallmark. He's been turning back youngins since 2012. Okay? Cub Swanson's that guy. And the mustache to boot. Man, Cub Swanson. What a win. Proud to have seen his fight since the WEC days. That's why I'm wearing that shirt today. Yeah. I had to give some WEC love. Got some Henderson and Pettis going on, but had to give some WEC love. It felt like a WEC night. The old little guys were winning. The old little guys were winning. Swanson with a big win. Who else? Michael Johnson with a big win. Davey Grant with the big win. You know, Manel Kopp, he didn't fight in the WEC. I'm just saying little guys were winning. WEC was, known for making the bantamweights, the featherweights, the lightweights. That's what they did. That's why the UFC swallowed them up. They got all those weight classes. But yeah, Hub motherfucking Swanson. I hope he has a number next to his name. It would be criminal to do it this late in his career, I guess. But I would love a fight with him and Edson. Wouldn't you? They both finished Quarantillo. I would love an Edson That's why I was talking about it. I would love an Edson Barbosa Cub Swanson fight. Vintage, baby. Vintage. Give me that shit. I want that. Eat it up. Don't make me wait for it either. I want to see that shit in fucking February. I want to see that shit in March. Don't make me wait till the summer. I want to see something good. Let him fight for that 15 spot. Let him fight for that 15 spot. If you don't rank him, let him fight for it. I would love to see that. Even though Edson Barbosa will probably get bounced out of the rankings. Oh, actually, no. Those are bantamweights. Yeah, forget it. Unless they give it to Sean Woodson. I don't think so, though. Yeah. There's a chance he gets bounced out by Sean Woodson, but I doubt it. I really doubt it. But yeah, Cub Swanson. And then Billy Q, I don't know what's next for him. Take some more time off. That KO is really, really, really bad. Shout out to his family that was in the stands and all his friends that had to watch that. Unfortunately, sometimes that's how it goes in MMA. I was riding with Billy Q that night. It looked like he was on his way to a decision. And like many fighters that night who looked like they were on their way to a decision, they got flatlined. What a win. What a win. Storybook ending for Cub Swanson. He's not saying that he's definitely retiring, but he called it a storybook ending, but he's not really closing the door. He's not closing the door. He's staying. He's leaving it up to a possible fun fight. And Barbosa sounds like a fun fight to me. Does it not? Does it not? It would be a fresh matchup as well. It would be a fresh matchup as well. And call me crazy. Call me fucking nuts. But let's say Ilya Topuria didn't like Evloev's performance. And everybody else is coming off of a loss, right? If Cub Swanson somehow got a finish over Edson Barbosa, could we somehow march him in there for a title shot? Now, I know I'm talking fucking crazy, but stay with me for just a second. Just a second, right? Topuria already beat Volkanovski and Holloway. Diego Lopez is sitting there, right? But let's say we match him up with Volkanovski for an interim, right? Or title eliminate or something like that. Okay? What if Cub Swanson knocks out Barbosa, does it crazily? Another highlight that we're like, where's this resurgence of Cub Swanson? This is crazy. And he gets a title shot because he would have beaten the guy that also. Wait, did he beat Bryce Mitchell? Oh, no, the math isn't mathing. Hold on. The math isn't mathing. I thought he beat Bryce Mitchell. He didn't beat Bryce Mitchell. Forget it. No cut. Now I'm just talking crazy. No Cubs in title shot. Let me stop. Cub Swanson get one last fight. Call it quits. If not, great career for you, but no title shot. Now I'm getting crazy. I'm in the weeds now. I was gonna do a fighter spotlight this week. It was supposed to be on Adrian Yanez. As we know, his fight IQ kind of got the better of him in that round 3. With literally 2 minutes on the clock, maybe 2.5. And Marco's literally running away from him, trying to avoid the fight. Adrian Yanez was not throwing punches. I decided to just jump back in the clinch. So no fighter spotlight this week. No fighter spotlight this week. And all the guys that I want to do it on are well established. They're older guys. It just didn't make sense. It just didn't make sense. So let's just go over the rest of the UFC Tampa results. Let's start at the top. Manel Kape defeats Bruno Gustavo da Silva, TKO, body kick and punches. 1 minute and 57 seconds of round 3. Manel Kape absolutely styled on Bruno da Silva. He was doing all types of stuff in there. He was dribbling a basketball. He was doing squats. He was looking over. He was calling his shot, the baseball thing where he looked off into the distance. He was doing everything. He was doing absolutely everything. He put on a performance and barely got hit in the process. Got out of the way of all the shots of Bruno da Silva, marked Bruno da Silva up, had him bloodied, had him confused, had him like a wounded lamb in that round 3, had him looking for an eye poke, but Manel Kape jumped on him hard, put him up against the fence, landed a few blows, and the referee had to call it. It was over. Manel Kape, TKO. Now, did he just leapfrog Brandon Royval and Brandon Moreno for a title shot? My opinion, no. He's just behind both those guys. Coming off one win, albeit a TKO over a ranked opponent. Oh, wait. Bruno Silva is not ranked. Oh, yeah, he is. At 12. Okay. Manel Kape, yeah. But it was a guy under him. Okay. And Royval and Moreno have been beating top 5 guys. So I still have Royval and Moreno a step ahead for a title shot. I wouldn't march Manel Kape in there against Pantoja. They've already fought too, so it wouldn't even be a fresh matchup. So you have 3 matchups, rematches ready for Alexandre Pantoja. 3 rematches for Alexandre Pantoja. Either you get Brandon Royval, Brandon Moreno, or Manel Kape. Beat them all. So good luck there. As for Bruno da Silva, we got to get you an easy ranking fight next, I guess, my boy, because you just took a hellacious TKO, got a lot of damage. I think a Tim Elliott fight. I think a Joshua Van fight. I think a Steve Usyk fight. Those are all okay for Bruno Silva, but he's going to take some time off. Charles Johnson deserves the top 10. That's why I didn't mention his name. Tagir Ulanbekov deserves the top 10. I didn't mention Kaya Sakura because Kaya Sakura punched his freaking head off. Those knees that Kaya Sakura would have for Bruno Silva would be so damaging. That would be a terrible matchup for him. So I wouldn't like that. But yeah, those are the matchups I see next for either of those guys. I see a little bit of, a little bit of maybe Manel Kape can go up against Moreno. A Manel Kape Royval fight would be fun as fuck. But a Manel Kape Kai Kara France fight would be fun too. Man, there's so many matchups. He hasn't fought KKF yet. We know it'd be a banger. I'd like that. He hasn't fought any of these guys. Either of those guys. I would take those matchups. I would take the Royval matchup. I'd take the Moreno matchup. I'd take the KKF matchup. Alex Perez, even if you want to slow march him, but I think he deserves to jump a couple spots after that. Definitely above Usyk. Usyk, I think, beats Cap. Technical striker. I think he beats him. Ugh. But then after seeing Usyk get knocked out by Cara France, it's kind of like, you know what? No. I see Cop taking out Usyk too. Styling on him, being too quick. Yeah. You know what? Yeah, give Cop a top 5. KKF, Moreno, Royval. Nothing else should be considered. That's it for those guys. Who else was on the card? We had a bunch of good fights on the card. We had Dustin Jacoby knocking out Vitor Petrino with one punch. Getting one on the ground for assurance, but one punch KO. 3 minutes and 44 seconds of round 3. Vitor Petrino is winning this fight 2-0. Getting lackadaisical. Running away from the fight. Turning his head with his hands down. And Dustin Jacoby, a kickboxer, capitalized on that. Knocks him down, face down, ass up. Hits one more little hook, ground strike, just to make sure he was finished. And ends the fight, effectively ending Vitor Petrino's light heavyweight run as a serious contender. He is now in the Johnny Walker range of contenders. Guys that just can't quite make it past the threshold of a ranked opponent. Vitor Petrino needs to take a lot of time off. That is now 2 finishes in 2 fights, 1 sub, 1 KO. I don't like his odds fighting anyone in the top 15, anyone fringe 15 even. I would take some time off. I don't even know what's a good matchup for him next, to be honest. If I had to really give someone for him to fight, maybe Oleksiejczuk at light heavyweight. Maybe Jung Da-un. That's it. That's really it for me. I don't really see anyone else for this guy. Now, as for Dustin Jacoby, doesn't he have a win over Alonzo Menefield? No? Oh, he lost to him. Huh. I'd like to see that rematch to get him in the top 15. I'd like to see that rematch. I'd like to see a rematch of the fight with Menefield. First fight that started his skid. Problem is, all these guys that he lost to are now ranked in the top 15, so we'd have to do a lot of rematches. I could see a Dominic Reyes fight for Dustin Jacoby, but he just lost to him. Alonzo Menefield lost to him. Azamat Mirzakhanov lost to him. Khalil Roundtree Jr. lost to him. All these guys. Maybe Volkan Ozdemir. Yeah, give me Volkan. Reward him after losing. Reward him after. Yeah, he did one. But all these to reward him after all these guys that beat him, Menefield, Mirzakhanov, and Reyes, to give him Ozdemir would be criminal. Johnny Walker would be criminal. But since he took out, it's tough. It's tough to match this guy up. I don't know who should be next for Dustin Jacoby because all these guys 10 to 15 have beaten him. So I don't know what should be next for that guy. Last night was madness, ripping the ball and killing the shots last night. Yeah, killing the shots, not killing the bets. Not killing the bets. Fire recap, my G. Thank you. Appreciate you, Lobo. Up mad early on the West Coast. Keep up everything. We really appreciate it. I got you. Don't worry. I got you. I'm here to bring you guys news. I'm here to bring you guys that news. Get a little taste test before you guys get the real stuff from Helwani and Luke and Brian and all the other guys, Mike Heck, all those other guys. So, yeah, I don't know what should be next for Dustin Jacoby. It's hard to match up both of these guys, to be honest. So I'm just going to leave that one where it is, and we're going to move on. Let's get Daniel Marcos versus Adrian Yanez. As I was saying, Marcos had handily won probably the first round. The second round, Yanez was coming back. He was doing some good work. He was definitely doing some good work, landing some good punches, wobbled Marcos with a left hook. And then round 3, Yanez doing some good work on the feet again. Decides to get into the clinch. Marcos spins it around, takes him down, gets a lot of top control. Yanez not fighting back to his feet, spending a lot of time on his back, finally fights back to his feet with 2 minutes left in the round. Daniel Marcos not engaging. Daniel Marcos back to the fence, leaning up against the fence, running away along the fence, literally avoiding the fight with Yanez. And instead of rushing at this guy that Yanez was probably down against, Yanez runs and puts his forehead into his chest and doesn't throw strikes and just controls him. I don't know if he thought he was winning the fight, but even so, both those guys get a D+ for killer instinct, because what are you doing? This is a bantamweight fight. Big stakes. These are rankings that we're talking about. These are rankings that we could be talking about. One of these guys could be ranked after this fight. But they fought like prospects, strangely enough. Yanez not trying to land big strikes, even though he's a great boxer, a great striker. Hurt him earlier in the fight. Not trying to land strikes at the end of the fight. Marcos literally running away, avoiding everything he can. I'm not sure if he gassed. I'm not sure if he was hurt. I'm not sure what happened there. But both guys literally avoiding throwing hands in the last 2.5 minutes of the third round. And Yanez silver plattering a win for Daniel Marcos. Yanez still has a lot of room to grow. I was saying his nickname should be Dr. Pepper. Definitely not after that performance. Daniel Marcos. Very Mario Bautista style win. I'd match those two guys up next. Adrian Yanez. I could still give him a fringe 15 or a top 15 guy. I'd like to see him against Joshua Van. Both those guys throw hands. Both those guys like to fight. Both those guys will stand in the center and trade. I'd love to see that. So I'd love to see that fight next. I really like Yair, but he didn't have the gas to finish it strong. Oh, he didn't have the gas to finish it strong. Yeah. Unfortunately. Yeah. That fight honestly made me really upset because Yanez was easy money. They had him as a dog, big dog, and I thought it was easy money, and he just, gave away that fight in round 3. I hope to see him in a good fight next. Definitely a couple things he could work on. Definitely keeping his hands up on his exits. And probably his takedown defense was 100% coming into this, but he definitely made some key mistakes where he got taken down because he was shelling where he could have had a better position. But yeah, who am I? Who am I to say that? Navajo Sterling defeats Tuco Tucos. Everyone and their mother had this going by finish. Tucos had recently been finished this year, and Sterling couldn't find the button to put him out. Hurt him multiple times up against the fence, had him shelled up multiple times, and refused to land more than 4 strikes at a time. Would land a couple punches up top, a couple punches to the body, then back away. And then Tucos would come out of his shell and give him a little finger wag, like, oh, no, I wasn't hurt. Yeah. So don't give him an opportunity to do that finger wag again. Just keep hitting him with punches till the referee stops. It felt like an obvious thing to do, but I guess when these fighters are in there, sometimes the danger kind of seems more apparent than it actually is for us on the outside, because it felt like Sterling could have ended that fight at any point at the end of round 1, 2, or 3, and had decided that he wanted a 15-minute fight in the UFC. That's what it looked like to me, because it was a unanimous decision. It didn't look like Tokos ever hurt him at any point in the fight. And Sterling just didn't put his foot fully on the gas, and we got a decision because of it. There's no reason to set a matchup for either of those guys. So I'm just going to move on. Michael Johnson gets a big finish over Atman Azaitar. Michael Johnson back on the winning track. Now has 2 straight wins over Darius Flowers and Atman Azaitar. Wow. Performance of the night bonus for my boy. Let's go. Atman Azaitar now finished in both of his last 3. All 3 of his last 3 fights. All by KO. Rounds 2 and the first 2 happening in round 1. Not great. He already had taken a year off in between all of these fights. Now beckons the question, should we call it quits? Because you're getting knocked out by Matt Favola, Francisco Prado, and Michael Johnson, all of which have been knocked out recently. So tough L for Atman Azaitar. If he even comes back in 2 years, if he decides to take 2 years off, if that's the case, he's not going to be any younger than he is now. He's going to be 36 at that time. Coming off 3 straight losses, going to have to build towards a real career here. Now it's kind of asking the question, is it worth it anymore for Atman Azaitar? Now for Michael Johnson, he's still got a little gas in that tank. Just saying. And this fight was at lightweight. His original weight class is not down at featherweight. He's not killing himself to get there. So there's a couple fun fights that you know, Michael Johnson, I see you in a few fun fights, my boy. I ain't gonna lie to you. Beneil, no, we're not gonna give him that high of a ranked guy. Did Beneil Dariush just leave my lips? Let me stop. I'm talking crazy now. A top 10 for Michael Johnson? Stop, Gav. Stop. What are we doing? What can we do with him? What can we do with Michael Johnson? There's a lot of old guys we can match him up with. You know? A lot of old guys we can match him up with. Bobby Green. That's a fun fight. Michael Johnson, Bobby Green would be a great fight. Michael Johnson, Jim Miller will be a great fight. You know? Don't tell me you wouldn't watch that. I know you would, you sicko. You sick bastard. I know you would. Who else? Who else can we do Michael Johnson against? Hear me out. Kyle Nelson. Michael Johnson, Kyle Nelson. I'd watch that. Yeah. Don't tell me that's a bad fight. How about Michael Johnson, Lando Venata? That's a fun one. Plenty of good fights for either guy. Just saying, you know, don't shit on my parade. Joe Alvarez defeats Jakar Cloche. Flying knee and punches. Round 1, 2 minutes and 48 seconds. Just hit the over a half a round. Basically punches him into a guillotine choke. And instead of getting the choke like we all had him, he just kept punching him. And gets the TKO win. Jakar Cloche gets knocked out in front of his child. Upsetting. Very upsetting. Joel Alvarez ready to make a march towards the title. He said, "What's up, y'all? I'm here. I know I lost to Saryukian. I wasn't ready, but I'm here now. I'm a little slower than those guys that I faced before, but I'm here now, okay? All right? Tell Tiago Moises, now I'm in the top 15. Tell Elvis Brenner, now I'm in the..." No, okay. I don't know if he'll be a top 15 after this, because there's a lot of good guys there that deserve it. Paddy Pimblett, Jalen Turner, Grant Dawson, Renato Moicano, Rafael Fiziev. Those guys are top 15 guys. I don't know if Joel Alvarez is a top 15 guy, but a very nice win. He'll get a fringe guy next, more than likely. He'll definitely get a fringe guy next. I don't know who he'll get, but he'll definitely get a fringe guy next. Damn, we have a lot to still go over. Let me zoom through these now. Sean Woodson defeats Fernando Padilla. TKO punches, round 1, 4 minutes, 58 seconds. Literally 2 seconds left in the round. Fernando Padilla just looking gross. Just falling over every time he gets hit or pushed. Spamming takedowns that have no luck. Throwing strikes with his chin straight up in the air. And yeah, he paid for it. At the highest level, you can't do that. And he paid for it. So Fernando Padilla got his lunch money taken by Sean Woodson. Felipe Lima defeats Miles Johns, unanimous decision. He basically beat him every round. His striking was just too much, and Miles Johns couldn't and didn't even really try to get the takedown. So he was asking for an L in that one. Felipe Lima walked away with the victory. Women's flyweight, Miranda Maverick wins a closely contested unanimous decision between Jamie Lynn Horth and her. 29-28 across the board. She happened to lose round 2, but won rounds 1 and 3. Miranda Maverick used her grappling, stayed on top, stayed away from Jamie Lynn Horth's submission attempts, gets the win. Davey Grant defeats Ramon Tavares, unanimous decision win, 30-27 and 129-28. I thought it was a 30-27 across the board. Ramon Tavares just eating way too many strikes, not landing enough. And then Piero Rodriguez with the big upset over Josephine Lindgren-Knudsen. Unanimous decision, 30-27, uses her grappling, puts her on her back every single round, gets the big win. And those were the UFC Tampa results. Moving on, we got some PFL. I don't know if you guys noticed on Friday we had some PFL. PFL Europe 4 happened. PFL Europe motherfucking 4 happened. You feel me? You feel me? Yeah, that thing happened. A little confusing, I know. But we're going to get through this. You ready? I gave you guys a couple picks. If you took them, hope you won. Starting at the top, Abdul Abduragimov defeats Laureano Staropoli. Unanimous decision, 30-27. 30-27, 29-28. I knew he would win. I just didn't think he wouldn't finish Staropoli. Surprising for me there, but I kind of should have predicted that. Anyways, yeah, Jurigim. I'm not even going to try to say his name again. Double A got the win. He got the win. Unanimous decision. That's what matters. Headline in the card. If you know his face, you've seen him from Aries FC. He was the champion of Aries FC. Also, you have seen him on the show, The Cage or Caged or whatever it is on Netflix. I don't know. But John Jones is on that show. Cyril Gane's on that show. George St. Pierre's on that show. Numerous MMA promotions on that show. Faraz Sahabi's on the show. KSW, Aries FC. MMA is very apparent in the show. If you haven't watched it, and if you're French speaking and you haven't watched it yet, you should definitely check it out on Netflix. And yeah, he was on the show, so I kind of knew that he would be walking away with the win here. Patrick Habirora defeats Catalan Softa by KO. Punch, round 3, 2 minutes and 16 seconds. Didn't watch that fight, so I don't know. Michael Grugi defeats Lamine Sen by unanimous decision, 29-28, 29-28, 30-27. A pick of mine that I gave you this week. You're welcome if you got it. Lewis McGrillen defeats Alexander Luster by TKO, round 2, 3 minutes and 52 seconds. It was for the PFL Europe bantamweight title. I told you my boy Lewis McGrillen would come away with this dubber, and yes, he did. You're welcome if you took it. Jacob Kasuba, I'm sorry if you took this pick, comes down with the win. Defeats Connor Hughes by TKO, round 4, 4 minutes and 7 seconds for the PFL Europe lightweight title. I honestly should have saw this one coming. Jacob Kasuba winning last year's, so coming back to win again just made sense, especially Connor Hughes not looking amazing in his wins before this. So yeah, he ended up wins the PFL Europe lightweight title. Big win. Go back and watch that. Round 4, just put a pounding on him. Mathis Dungren defeats Yassine Chatou by unanimous decision, 30-26, 30-26, and 30-25. It was a Doumbé decides contract bout, so we should see a fight against Cedric Doumbé next. Right? Am I tripping? That can't be a fucking. It has to be. Right? Oh, these guys are featherweights. That wouldn't make sense. What the hell is a Doumbé decides match? That was stupid. Anyways, more clarification to come on that. Ignore what I just said there, but it was called a Doumbé decides contract bout. So maybe Doumbé decides if they get a fight in the PFL or something. I don't know. Doumbé fights at a higher weight class, so I'm not sure what that would mean. These guys are featherweights. Malo Campanella defeats Azura Barasa by submission, arm triangle choke, round 1, 4 minutes and 45 seconds. It's also a Doumbé decides contract bout. Salvio Giudice defeats Attila Kobas by unanimous decision, 30-27, 30-26, 30-25. Also a Doumbé decides contract bout. This one I messed up on this pick as well. Florm Zindelli defeats Daniel Michelli by submission, rear naked choke, round 1, 4 minutes and 24 seconds for the PFL Europe welterweight title. I had Michelli in this fight. Florm Zindelli had other plans. Came in here, just put a beating on him. Took that back, grabbed that neck, took that title. It was, yeah, go back and watch that. And then Paulina Wisniewska defeats Valentina Skatizi. I told you, ain't no Skatizis beating Wisniewska, okay? All right? I called that a few cards ago, called it again. Wisniewska was walking away with this win. TKO round 1, 20 seconds. 20 seconds. Yeah, go back and watch that. It won't take you long. Yeah, Wisniewska. Let's go, baby. PFL Europe Women's Flyweight Champion Wisniewska Decheva future fight. Oh, I can't wait. That's a fun one. That's a fun one. Put that on the books. I'd love to see that Wisniewska Decheva fun fight in the future. Two great European prospects. On a crash course for each other. PFL's got something. They got something there. Sheridan defeats Bryce Belgazzi unanimous decision, 30-27 across the board, and Claudio Pacella defeats Oscar Owensworth by unanimous decision, 29-28, 30-27, and 30-27. That will compete. What is that with me? That will complete our PFL Europe 4 results, and that will complete our MMA portion of the news on One More Round Fights. Let's just check the comments real quick. Lazy Bet in the house. This morning I'm running on Duncan. Here to give my like and show love. Appreciate you, Lazy. Appreciate you coming through. Thank you. Don't worry. More content to come out later after we do our Usyk watch long. We got to do a, year-end type deal coming up. Don't worry, guys. But let's finish up on boxing and we'll get you guys out of here. We don't have too much left. DAZN had some boxing this week. Antonio Vargas versus Winston Guerrero. And Antonio Vargas proved he's that dude. TKO, round 10, 2 minutes and 10 seconds. Now, Vargas dropped him in round 1. Real early. So we were like, Vargas was basically already running away with the win. He was piecing him up every which way. Dropped him in round 1. Handily winning the fight. And then round 10 comes along. And he finally connects a good 6 or 7 strikes together. And just gets him out of there. Pops his head back multiple times up against those ropes. The ref looked at him on that first pop back. Then he started circling off to the other ropes. Hit him a couple more times. Popped him back again. Ref waves it off. It was over. I think the corner was actually trying to call for the end too. They might have also called for the end from the side. But yeah, it was a handy win for Antonio Vargas on DAZN. Also, Javon Walton picks up a big majority decision win. 38-38, 40-36, 40-36. Some judges really want to screw this guy apparently because if you know Javon Walton, you've seen him on Euphoria. It was a big show on HBO Max with Zendaya. But he is now, since focused on his boxing career, has been taken a back, his acting career has taken a back seat, and is now had his 3rd professional fight. His second one didn't go his way, ended up being a draw, and one judge in this fight actually was going to call this one a draw. Thankfully, the other 2 saw it his way, 40-36. Yeah, so he got a draw in his last time out, but finally gets a majority decision win here. Back on the winning track for Javon Walton. He is 2-0-1. Glad to see his career is on the right track. Otherwise, on the main card, it was Daniel Pero defeating Walter Burns by TKO in round 1, 2 minutes and 50 seconds. Almost got out of the round, but ended up hunting his prey down and getting the kill. Tamara Thibault defeats Natasha Spence by unanimous decision, 40-36 across the board. No need to go over the prelims. The main card was pretty slim. But yeah, that completes my DAZN coverage of Antonio Vargas versus Winston Guerrero. I can't wait for the next year. Big ups to you, my G's. We're taking a leap and starting our own shit. Thank you, bro. Appreciate it. You know, hopefully next year bets treat us better and we get a lot of subs. We need more subs. You know, subs been a little slow. Would love more subscribers. If anything, tell a friend. Make some burner accounts. I don't care what you got to do. Give me more subs, man. I need more subs. Dude. On to Top Rank Boxing. Top Rank. Jaime Munguia versus Bruno Surace. I'm going to call him Sriracha because this boy came in hot. Oh, man. Upset of the year contender, if not the upset of the year. Bruno gets dropped. All right. It looks like round 1, Munguia is doing his thing, filling him out. Round 2, Munguia drops him. It looks like Munguia is going to be too much for this guy. It looks like he's going to be too powerful, too smart in there, just ring generalship, everything. He just looked like he was going to be too much. He was putting it on him, and it looked like Munguia was going to run away with this win. If not, he was going to put him down at some time in this fight. Then out of nowhere, in this round 7, oh, sorry, 6. It was round 6. Out of nowhere in this round 6, Munguia eats a big right hand. Goes down like a ton of bricks, like a tree in the forest. He tries to get back to his feet. He is successful in getting back to his feet, but he's wobbly as all hell. He's barely there. His balance is off. He can barely walk. When he does get some motion up, ref has to call it off. Ref literally has to call it off. If you let him go, it would be so egregious. It would be unbelievably egregious if he let that go. So Jaime Munguia takes the L to Bruno. 6th round. 6th round. Jaime Munguia only 28. And it should be noted, he really can't keep fighting like this. Let's take a look at his record. Okay? Let's just take a quick gander at Jaime Munguia's record. He had the loss to Canelo, unanimous decision, in which he fought very dumb. And now he has the loss to Bruno Surace. But every single fight that we see this guy in, he's taking big punches to the head. Camilo Zarameta, Gabe Rosado, Sergey Derevyanchenko, Canelo, Surace. And now losing in Mexico. I mean, he lost to Canelo in Nevada, but he was undefeated in Mexico, man. And getting knocked out in his hometown is crazy enough. Wow. Jaime Munguia loses. Elsewhere on the card, super bantamweight bout. Also, that fight was at super middleweight. Super bantamweight bout. Alan Picasso defeats Ye Sanquelo. 3rd round, KO. Super welterweight, Jorge Garcia Perez defeats Quarantillo Abdulkarov. Unanimous decision, 97-92, 99-90, 99-90. At super bantamweight, Sebastian Hernandez defeats Sergio Martin Sosa. 7th round, TKO. And at featherweight, Juan Anacana defeats Christian Islas Roldan. Unanimous decision, 79-73, 77-75, 78-74. That was ESPN. Jaime Munguia, Bruno Surace. Upset of the year candidate. Truly an upset of the year candidate. Devastating loss. Absolutely devastating loss for Jaime Munguia. The Canelo fight was lurking. That's gone. Christian and Bealey fight lurking. That's gone. It's time to build back up. It's time to build back up. Let's go over some other boxing coming up. Other boxing notables coming up. This coming weekend, we got Usyk versus Fury Dose. Me and Luke will be doing a watch along for that on the main card minute. Please come around, check us out. It's going to be a heavyweight fight, y'all. 12 rounds, undisputed heavyweights. We'll see if Tyson Fury could get his belt back. See if Usyk could hold him off and get that hand still. December 24th in Tokyo, we got Naoya Inoue taking on Sam Goodman, 12 rounds for Inoue's undisputed junior featherweight championship. And December 30th in Tokyo, we got on the pflmma YouTube channel, Ryan Garcia versus Ruki Ampo, 8 rounds, 153 pounds catch weight exhibition. Kermel Moton taking on Albert Pagara, 8 rounds at junior welterweight. And Amado Vargas taking on Sean Garcia, 8 rounds at welterweight. Yeah. And that's it for boxing. That completes my boxing portion of the news. Boxing still gave us the most brazy outcomes ever, wildest upsets this year. Yeah, I'm telling you, bro. I'm telling you, it's been a wild year. It's been a wild year for boxing. I mean, Angelo Leo had a big start, you know. Bruno Surace beating Jaime Munguia. So, boxing's been pretty fun, I gotta say. All right. This is going to be a short one, real short one. It's our favorite segment of the week, but literally, I should have been at this week's L's, honestly. But I started off, even before the card started, real hot. So I guess it's this week's wins. It's this week's wins. Technically, it's this, even though I lost a lot of it on the UFC, it's this week's wins. And you know why? We started off hot as hell. We were like, yo, as soon as I saw her get the takedown in the first 10 seconds of the fight, I was like, oh, yeah, I got to put a live bet on Pia Rodriguez. So I did. I got her at plus 126, even though she was a plus 226 at one point. Threw, $25 on her, came out with 60. Nice little win. Didn't get to throw it in on the other app because she was minus money by the time I got there, and it wasn't worth it. Yeah. That was my only win on the night for UFC. Believe it or not, if you can actually believe that, that was my literal only win all night. Every single parlay died. Every single I lost on. And if you don't believe me, let's just go over it real quick. Okay? Even though I won on Pia Rodriguez, I took Ramon Tavares, lost that. I took Miranda Maverick sub. She won by decision. I took Felipe Lima TKO. He won by decision. Took Woodson points and Fernando Padillo sub. Woodson TKOs him. Took Joel Alvarez submission and Drakkar Klose money line. He KOs him. I took Atman Zaitar and Michael Johnson points. He KOs him. I took Navajo Sterling to finish. Decision. I took Adrian Yanez money line. He lost the decision. I took Vitor Petrino. He was up 2 rounds to nothing in round 3. Gets knocked out in round 3. I took Manel Kopp by points. Knocks him out with 3 minutes left in the fight. I took Billy Q and Billy Q points. He was winning the fight. Gets knocked out in round 3. I took Colby Covington and Joaquin Buckley TKO round 5. TKOs him in round 3. It was a tough fucking night, man. It was a tough motherfucking night. Okay? It was like, it was tough. But to make the blow a little better, before the card even started, I hit on the NBA. Yep. Had a little $50, a little 10-legger. 30, 25, 15, 15, 15. 10 rebounds, 2 made threes for both those guys. Jalen Johnson, 6 rebounds. Lillard, 4 made threes. Turned 50 into 1,100. That's the only thing that made my night not absolutely unbearable, because I literally failed at every single corner on the UFC, and it was almost unbelievable how badly I could fail on that. And I wanted to tail Luke's bets on the main card minute, but I couldn't, because a lot of things that he took early in the week, they ballooned so hard that by the time I was going to take them, they were minus 300, the parlays. So it was just like, I couldn't take them. So yeah, even though it wasn't a big week of wins, technically, it's this week's wins. And that's it for me this week. Let's just quickly go over picks. There's no UFC next week. There's no PFL next week. There's no MMA next week. Unfortunately, that was the last MMA card of the year, besides the one Friday night fights that has a lot of Muay Thai and kickboxing on it. Yeah, that was the last MMA fight of the year. It's just Thai fights left. And then the Ryzen. Right. Oh, okay. We have the Ryzen card on 31st. That's the last MMA card of the year. But for all intents and purposes, we're done talking MMA for this year. We just got roundups coming up, so keep an eye out for those. But last boxing card of the year, major boxing card of the year, we got Usyk Fury 2. Who we got? What are our picks on there? What do we got? What are we doing? For me, I gotta go Usyk decision. I mean, he won the first fight. Why should we expect him to not win the second? You know, it was a decision. It was a split decision, but he still won. Now, boxing, you would want Fury to win to set up a trilogy, but last time I thought that was going to happen, didn't end up working my way. So I'm just going to go with the winner wins again. Usyk decision. And I would pair that with a Madrimov. So Usyk and Madrimov are my picks for this card. And that's it. Nice and simple, nice and quick. Not keeping you guys too long. Let's see. I'm so ready for the MKLT main card minute, one more round connection. Yeah, I'm waiting on that. Good old NBA and free young boy. Let's go. But yeah, that's it for me, y'all. I wanted to get you guys out before football. Plenty of time to go do your thing before football comes on. Let's do some housekeeping. Again, scan the QR codes below. Follow the channels, like the stream, all that. Main card minute on your left, one more round on your right. We'll be doing an Usyk Fury watch along this Saturday. Come check us out. Again, to tail the picks that we put out, one more round fights. That is one more round fights on social media. Check us out on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, all that. If you get some wins from any bets you got on this channel, please send them in, one more round fights at gmail.com. I want to see what you won on. Shout out to our sponsor, W.GG. Use promo code one more round for 10% off. That is promo code one more round for 10% off the products. And yeah, sponsors, hit us up. You know, W knows what's up. You should know what's up too. Hit us up. I want some free shit. Stop being a bitch. Give me some free shit, assholes. Free shit. I want it. But yeah, that's it for me. I'm about to go eat something, watch some football, chill out, eat a bagel or some shit. You know, Long Islanders do. Again, I'm the host. My name's Gav. Come back every Sunday. I'll give you guys news. Next Sunday, probably not going to be anything but boxing news. I might still go live. But after that, I'll have some stuff for Christmas for you guys and New Year's. Yeah, I got some stuff for you guys. So just look out. But thanks for coming by. Don't forget to leave that like, leave that subscribe. And I'll see you Saturday and Sunday. Enjoy the week. See you next weekend.